Hello and welcome. You're watching Don Bosco Media Network. This is Monalisa Rambai bringing you the news and events in Meghalaya. The headlines for today are: ALHEC clarifies allegations of distributing money to the public. The pandemic teaches humans to be more sympathetic towards their fellow beings. Father Paul Odlinkot announced that strong will, faith in God, and cooperation with the doctors made him win the battle against the coronavirus. And now the news in detail. In response to a new item being circulated through the social media networks alleging that the Health Minister was distributing money to people of his constituency, Mr. ALHEC said that 4 days earlier he has extended financial assistance to households that were in dire need belonging to the BPL section. He had issued admission slips to them, informing them the dates and times when they were to come and collect the financial assistance from him. The assistance covered the purchase of essential food items for the families. He added further that people thronged to his residence following the announcement of the government to impose a total lockdown in the district, fearing that they would no longer be able to avail the assistance that they were supposed to avail, as per the date and time given by him. Apparently, the date and time as given by the minister fell in between the total lockdown, which caused a panic in the hearts of those who are in the BPL category and had been issued admission slips by the health minister. Having arrived at his residence ahead of the appointed date, they were nonetheless received by Mr. Heck, who supplied them with masks, sanitizers, and were ushered into his chamber in pairs to collect the financial assistance.
Morning 10 o'clock and so on and so forth. Nang bala ban ay ki kiningra financial assistance nang bonta kila banyo bandit again essential community for their livelihood. Kemudian kesan ka di सरकार के दुनी कला ने announce ya ka lockdown, complete lockdown. Adin ba announce ka complete lockdown di itu dia slip di badai benduan sim, dia license so swiru kimla lock show ban up. Dan dah menek lah si rush tu baru bawa di dunia nak kata financial assistance. Cuma bila slot ada timing, bila slot ada date, nak macam date. Ini nomor berkadai ke lockdown, kita mula asyik berduan, nak tahu what ki pulit, tahu mana step, dia macam step, abang kia bersedang lagi ke mana guru, mana i kalau zaman baik video, kita mula asyik nomor bagi fight ba, kita itu sibuk ni jengnya. Kamdam lele itu kita duduk kita jejak. Ini le gumno ni kamsa iki benung dia henry ila pendeng gumga social distancing ila deng gimak ila ai ke sanitizer iki di penrung iki arut yang ngi ban ai ke jingrat iki kat bagila siaja tengka meroi na gumta gitu ki bala ai slip saus pa nun henry men bode kende teng saus pa ngut ai slip kibik biar lenti nang turu yang lain lah tingin mena bencuba iki bir bopri boleh ke jingia ke jinjar tinggi persangkat lah dia bernyerap di kebun balang Henry hadir memlaju ban control ayo phone nai video ayo phone lagi magistrate baki labon pala gibre baki di paramajan marparu la complain ya ki bor ki bahalor ba boleh bahayeng jo head minister la tabrio betul nalor ba jon ingenigar spike.
In the last few weeks, the state had witnessed a surging spike in the number of positive cases, wherein the situation has become a bit alarmed despite the government's decision to impose containment measures in the state. The spreading of the virus is uncontrollable. Therefore, to put a check on the rising number of COVID-19 cases in the state, the government felt the need to impose the total lockdown in areas where the number of cases keeps increasing. Yesterday, the government decided to impose total lockdown in East Khas Hills district from 8 p.m. of 19th May 2021 to 5 a.m. of 31st May 2021. The government has given 1 day time for the public to collect the essential groceries. On the other side of the preparation for the lockdown, the general public was seen running around for the essentials. Speaking to few people, they said, the government should have at least given 2 days time to get their required essentials for the 10 days lockdown. They expressed the sudden decision by the government has forced them to come up and line up for the essentials with the fear that they would not get their requirements. They have to wait for the essentials with no strict adherence to protocols.
Kang hoy kalong mo sisay kata nawang i last time group kuntu bala kunbana kuntu kan kejibun rio de imat nakatu kejibun rio ben spike de kani kejing yo yang jing pang buat kunju ru hakane ka sin mo bataru ketika sarkar lese namasnu ba kandil bana ailat chai rio ba tinfit cha jai ben pelong jai kinom long panik masuk kan men declare kuntu lese gibriu kidan hi kejing king boyo kidu ya ki marba mati mare sinistai pelong kehidupan paro ban buriu ban hadu bala mun la syu kum ka sidang lu ban kontrol limne ki pulis wa juga po de masuk banong ba bisi company ki jingja ko ngene hoy kalong sisa ban kudunai ko sidang kan kan di banai ka lockdown tang ba iri banai la di gibriu hak pagila man kit ka yang arsi la sini sausi kat bagadai nang tangi sa ai pada kenika lockdown haji sya kani ko lockdown kala di bentan adu muncua ba thrang bante la kami yang jupang ban break ke kecil.
In the midst of such unprecedented crisis, when the virus appears to be winning, there are people in pockets of the city and elsewhere who are doing their best to make the lives of their fellow men better. Shri Sambor Langdingdo, owner of the Samkamti petrol pump in Shillong, offered assistance to more than 92 taxi drivers today, the 19th May 2021. These drivers, he remarked, earn during the day so that they can return home with enough essential food supplies to last their family for a day or two. His assistance was a way to encourage others to follow suit and assist people around them.
Nga kamam sinam ru por bikiot ki driver taxi ru nga irap iki am tingi driver taxi irap lang bagi driver bus ru da ka basa miki tifen hot cases bidang like don nang bagi driver taxi kinyo ban da kadai ki bikin songja na yin na ki pasong dukan ru kala ikot ni mar biki la yo ban song kajal ka jong ka jenta la ka jong pomsit la ka jong di kesin ke balai mga irap yang driver taxi kadai kini senam ni ba kadang ka strike yung driver taxi mo di kamu try yung pam ite nga idan talam ni bagi driver taxi ngimi lang ilang na marbay hapan sto ko way ba ni try pam ni embek na ki driver taxi di pam jungi hiru ki ban pen em hingi di ba customer jungi daily customer jungi ki driver taxi di menta hakajing ya sem jingalot ajing hakajing sem jingalot ki brio hakani ka ki driver taxi ki belapen emut ini ki try pom te kadi kamram jengi rumah ki try pom bengin dan bertalang te mendai bengin suya hon tang bengin suya sem kata ka bisa bagi wania mau tang bagi wania thid diesel kit petrol ngi ndre kumakani ka kya ka shan kadi ka kamram jengi ru ki try pom kan bengin ya snok tilang bat ki driver taxi da kadai kanono ka benta te
The Thma Urang Lijuki, TUR, and Workers' Power of Meghalaya submitted a memorandum to the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Mr. Conrad K. Sangma, demanding that Rs 2 crores sanctioned to MLAs to implement various schemes each day should immediately be consolidated into a single fund of Rs 120 crores and cash transfer or income support by the families' daily wage workers, domestic workers, taxi drivers, shop assistants, street vendors and marginal farmers should be done from such a fund of Rs 5,000 in 2 installments. Working class families are staring at hunger, disease and homelessness. This is the time to support the working classes of Meghalaya and therefore keeping in mind financial crisis in the state. It is but right to consolidate MLA LAD and MP LAD funds to help mitigate the crisis being faced by the toiling people of the state. Furthermore, TUR demands that 25% salary of Class 1 officers, including Central Services officers and the tax refund being done for IAS and IPS officer, should also be utilized to take care of the out-of-pocket medical expenses of the working class citizens during this pandemic. Crisis facing our society is not just medical, but is connected to the choices we make vis-a-vis governance and politics.
Before we die of COVID, and we know that we have to abide by protocols. We know that we have to first and foremost try to overcome this pandemic, and everybody is cooperating. But that doesn't mean that the government should abdicate its responsibility to ensure that people do not die of hunger, and that there should be income support for especially daily wage laborers, because they work in the morning and that's how they support and bring food to the table at night. So we from TUR have submitted a memorandum to the government saying that they have to give income support to daily wages. And the government keeps making excuses that they don't have money. There was exorbitant expenditure last year of 399 crores, which is still at that level not properly accounted for. But irrespective of all that, we insist, we demand that there has to be income support for those who are on the margins. And even if they say they don't have money, we will tell them where they can take out that money from. Every MLA is given 2.5 crores as MLA fund. The government should be taking 2 crores per MLA, which means we will have a fund of 120 crores. MLA funds comes from the Consolidated Fund of India, which means that there is no excuse. This money is there. So it has to be used first and foremost right now to give income support to families to the tune of 5,000 rupees each. We demand that 2,500 be released immediately and 2,500 after a few weeks. And if we are able to do this, we will be able to reach 240,000 households in the state. And it has to be done.
Exactly after 3 weeks of battling against the coronavirus, Father Paul Olincott, in his isolation period, wanted to express his gratitude to the Almighty God for the strength and care that bring him back to normal. Father Paul wanted to thank the people who were fervently praying for him, the Salesian community, the seminarian boys, the fathers, brothers, sisters, his friends, family, well-wishers, and all the doctors and nurses who took care of him.
Maulai Motsier. Tik Mendagasi Lai Teo Nadok Arpo Pratrik Ubna April Arajar Arpo Way Pamendagasi Kakandai Ubnai Jemang Arajar Arpo Way Lai Teo Tik Kabamanga Layo Yagani Kichimpang Kanimonia Ringkat Bakajinyo Yauni Punyang Jumpang COVID-19